Hey guys, so 2 episodes ago, I know it's been forever, I said that Call of the Cutie was -5 stars. This episode is +5 stars. This episode is amazing. So, hey guys, welcome back to the Undercover Brony reviews, and welcome back to the first video, or I shouldn't say welcome back, but welcome to the first video of 2019.
Guess who's back? Back again. TUB. Tell a friend. Hey, what's up? Okay, so check this out. As my computer tells me it wants to restart, but I'm going to say do it later. So check this out. This episode, right? You remember because if I'm not mistaken, this is right before Diamond Dogs, right?
Yes, this is episode 14, and Diamond the Dog and Pony Show was episode 19.
Okay. Because I've been waiting for a platform to say this for too long now.
Okay.
I've been waiting to make this proclamation. As far as I am concerned, this episode is a two-parter. It is a two-parter with episode 19. Now, you may be asking yourself, thick boy, what are you on about? This one's a dog and pony show. This is Dress for Success. One's about fashion. One's about being trapped in a dog mind.
Mm-hmm.
And my retort to you would be no. Those two episodes were created under the name. They were created under the name Saving Rarity as a Character, the two-parter.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you on that.
Over halfway into this season, like a lot of folks, which is kind of weird because everyone likes Rainbow Dash for the exact same reasons that they didn't like, Rarity. It's just that Rainbow Dash got her spotlight episode of 10 before this, but whatever. Rarity at this point, there's a trope for this. It's called the load. She was the load. She was most people's least favorite. Nobody really liked her, kind of. People kind of liked her in the sense everyone was like, oh, she's just a rich bitch. But this episode and Dog and Pony Show were like, okay, swerve time, face turn. We're going to save this character, put the title on her, and she's going to be like everyone's favorite ever.
Mm-hmm. We're going to make this character interesting from something that was just very basic and like widen it out so that we can have a good character here.
Rewatching the old episodes, knowing what I know now, 8 seasons in, and then getting to this episode, you hear the term night and day. Nah, this is like this is like difference between Minecraft and Fortnite. I don't understand. I almost don't understand how the rarity of today came from the rarity before this episode. And never mind the bland, simpler characterization. She's just better written now, I think. And this was the episode that started to showcase it. This was such a turn that when I saw this episode, oh, Jesus Christ, 7 years ago, I
know, isn't that crazy?
When I saw this episode 7 years ago, I thought to myself, wow, that was good. Rarity was dope. This has to be a fluke. 3 episodes later, Rarity's like, ho. So that was a freaking lie. This episode saved Rarity? No. Redeemed Rarity. Saved Rarity. Then episode 19 redeemed her. Two-parter. Changed my mind. You cannot. Try to prove me wrong. You cannot. Anyway, so the episode starts off with, Rarity is doing a thing because the, I guess, overarching plot, kind of, throughout the season has been the Grand Galloping Gala, or as I like to call it, Triple D in the Castle in the Sky. And so, which I'm trying to remember, it was really only brought up in Ticketmaster, this one, Dog and Pony Show, I think, because wasn't she looking for materials for the dresses? I don't know. And she's like, okay, I gotta make me myself some purty dresses. By the way, she's country Rarity right now. I gotta make me some purty dresses for the Grand Galloping Gala, so
Mm-hmm.
that my mare friends can look positively fetch.
Now, here's what happened. So she's just sewing, and Applejack and Twilight both come up. Twilight wants to have a button on her dress fixed, restitched basically, and Applejack's just like, just I'll just wear my old milk duds, and it's like, okay, you're a farmer, you're not this daft. What the hell? But and I'm sorry, I cannot get Godbirds out of Equestria for insurance money out of my head with this scene because literally the best part is where Twilight's just like, but Twinkie, Twinkie, and then she coughs, not another bird.
Twinkie
But
was
it's
also, I believe, a ship name for Twipie at one point.
mhm. But it's one of those. Oh my gosh! I just realized that. That's awesome,
Yeah, dude.
especially with the cream filling. That's mainly for the cloppers, though. So,
Right.
so basically, Rarity
John's in the
gets the
closet.
idea. You know what? We're gonna make dresses for everyone. I'm gonna
Yeet.
make them, and we're gonna have them. You know, really awesome. So then we get into the first, the first really good song outside of Winter Wrap Up here. Art of the
Winter
Draft.
wrap up.
This
Yeah, because
this was
Kazumi Evans is
the
the GOAT, dude.
this was actually based off of another song called Putting It Together.
Called John's mom.
Putting It Together. And basically it's her singing about her work. So there's a couple things that come through in this song. One, it shows that she is definitely a business pony on top of being a fashionista. Two, it shows the extent of her passion as a fashionista. And three, it broadens everything out. So you're not just having the simple fashionista, you're having someone who's passionate about her work, and she also handles the business side of things. That's really cool.
Hashtag strong female role model. Eat it, Anita.
Exactly.
So this
Seriously,
shows this
fuck you,
episode.
Anita Sarkeesian.
Yeah, I know. She pisses me off being half Armenian more than
Even
the damn
gamer
Kardashians.
chicks are just like, shut the fuck up.
She makes me more pissed off to be half Armenian than the damn Kardashians. Okay, so
And that's saying something.
This episode, yeah, they're hot though. So this episode also is pretty noteworthy. Under TV tropes, there's a trope called fashion show. It says Fim is noteworthy for making an episode about a fashion show into a parody of the fashion industry, also seen in Green Isn't Your Color, instead of having it look like a bunch of kids playing dress up for marketing. I truly think that that's part of the reason why because if I'm right, none of the dresses that the main six wore in this episode and the Grand Galloping Gala, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think any of them got turned into toys.
No, I don't think so. I don't remember any of the gala dresses coming through in any of the toy sales. So that's interesting.
Yeah,
Now, I want to go one level deeper because I hate having to say this, but this is when Brony Curious was still good. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
He talked
Screw
about
you, Tommy.
each of the different types of even each of the different types of tropes that you'll see with the main six in this episode. So Rarity's the businesswoman, basically. You have Rainbow Dash is the one who doesn't know what they want until they see it. You have Pinkie Pie that she's very indecisive as well. You have Twilight that's just like, I need this to be technically accurate. You have Fluttershy, which is one of my favorites because she's the kind of character, she's the kind of trope of someone who thinks they know what they want and thinks they know it better than the actual person selling them.
Yeah.
Let's just say any person named Karen, basically.
God. Yeah.
There was actually a meme that I just saw that it was Thanos with the Karen type hair, and it's like once Karen gets all the 6 infinity scarves, she'll be able to go to anyone and say, "Can I speak to your manager and not be phased?"
I promise you, anyone named Karen, Catherine, Cheryl, Marissa, and probably Katie. Okay, so speaking of
Wow, you just wanted to throw shade at my wife, didn't you?
oh wow, way to say that out loud with her sitting right behind you without any context.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and a funny note about the Fluttershy thing. Well, you were saying how she thinks she knows what he wants. I didn't even realize this when I first watched it years ago, but Tropes makes note of that. It has her whole thing, you know, the arm size tight, the MIDI collar doesn't go with the shot, blah blah blah. Well, it actually mentions that it's a subverted trope, the hidden depths one, because everything Fluttershy says is pure gibberish and inaccurate, as considering her dress especially ends up just as tacky, and in my opinion, probably the most out of all the other six.
I would actually say that
I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna
Twilight's
be
or
honest.
Applejack's more or
I'm
less.
gonna be honest with you. I think Rainbow Dashes was probably the best one.
Oh yeah, because she looked like a superhero there.
Yeah, dude. Okay,
Thanks,
so
Power Ponies.
anyway, yeah, this song, it's a good song. Tell them about the song, John.
The song is really good because again, it shows a lot of depth to her character, and it's a nice way to transition to everything. It even has a reprise later in the episode. But it's the sort of thing that shows her passion for everything. She does the dresses, and then it cuts to the main six just looking at it, just like, it's not exactly what we wanted. And then you get the reprise, which is all the main six going through and saying, this is what we actually want, and blah, 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 moving forward. Again, my favorite scene with this episode is with Fluttershy. It's like, this was clearly machine stitched. Use a blanket stitch or whatever. And it's like, it's prêt-à-porter and not to French haute couture. It's like, oh my gosh. Even better, it shows her kind of like, kind of giving her nose up.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, whatever you want to do is fine.
this is
It's the
fine.
first ever showing of Sassy Shy, and I love it.
Oh, it's great. I'm trying to remember. Is this the? I may be wrong, but is this or is this not the first song in the series that's a solo song?
Let me think. No,
Because, dude,
no,
no.
Giggle at the Ghosties was because Pinky was the only one that sang in that one.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, but she had some guest stars on the track. Okay, that was a D12 song.
Okay,
Okay,
it's the
so
sort of thing that, in terms
I'm
of like
kidding. I'm kidding.
moving the story forward and having a good way to showcase visuals instead of just explaining it, I would say that that's definitely this song.
So and you know what also helps? Do you know what also helps? The song's dope. And you know, I will fight anyone, okay? I will fight anyone that tries to tell me that as far as episode quality goes, seasons one and it depends on two. But if that season one or two produced better episodes than anything after season three or anything from season three and beyond, the I will defend them. I will fight them on everything. The only thing I may lean towards on is, bro, season one had dope songs.
Oh yeah, I agree. In terms of like songs and stuff like that, it was the best of
I
the
mean, hell, dude,
some of the best of the entire show.
9 years strong, and this song is still a lot of people's favorites.
Now
Could just be nostalgia,
I
but
will say that my favorite is not until next season, but we'll get to that. But this is definitely a really good song nonetheless.
my
So
favorite song from season two is "May the Best Pet Win" for the shipping.
I see what you mean there. Plus they introduced that new facial animation for that one.
Oh, dude.
So
Anyway,
um
plot.
so they get their dresses every way they want. Like Rarity hates them, even Opal hates them too. Opal's just like,
What a cat hating something you don't say.
I know, right? So there's another subplot here that hoity-toity, one of the big shots in Canterlot is coming down to see the fashion show for these dresses. And so they come out with their horrible dresses. But I will say the first thing that I love is Rarity's symbol on the curtains, where it's kind of like the curls of her hair and her eyes. That's really fucking cool, number one. Number two is when they bring everything out, it's like, oh, what are these? This looks like everything, a mismatch of everything but the kitchen sink. And you see Rarity push back a kitchen sink to backstage. I'm just like, yes, meta humor for the win.
Dude, this episode's so meta. One of the things in tropes, and this is great. It said this episode was there was a take that, because check this out. The majority of the conflict in the episode stems from too many people providing input into design and creation who are not creators. It might very well be satire of the entire studio production process. And then it says, did you catch that, producers? Sure, we'll introduce more characterables with marketable accessories, but just remember that creative work turns out the best when they're driven by actual creators.
I agree. I
See,
definitely agree. That's one of the things that made this show different, was because it was showing creativity despite the fact that it was made specifically to sell toys.
You want to talk about breaking down barriers and even certain gender barriers. This show right here, baby, 9 years strong.
And that's why, like, one of the things that I'll always compare this to is that it's very much the Disney syndrome, because Disney movies, for all intents and purposes, are designed for children. However, adults still like it because there's enough humor and enough heart and enough good writing that can make an adult enjoy it. However, that's the same thing here. It's something that it has good writing and it has good storytelling and it has the humor that you'd want to see from this kind of show. You know what I mean?
You go on.
So, like, it's the kind of thing where a lot of like, if you look at G3, it was designed specifically for, like, jingling keys in front of a baby. Nothing more like that.
No, that's G3 and a half.
Okay, G3 and the newborn cuties or whatever they
Yeah,
were called.
yeah.
It made parents want to stab their eyeballs out with their fork. Let's just say that. But this one, it's intelligent enough that parents can enjoy it with their kids. That was the main reason for it. Then it got this crazy amount of awesome fans. Now, again, we're going to go much deeper into this for season 1 retrospective, but I just wanted to bring that out right now.
Right. I've always been the kind of person that's like, I never really looked. I mean, yeah, in the beginning, I was in high school, so there was that little bit of that tiny bit of ooh, a girl show. But I mean, I never really look at. I've never looked at animation to be exclusive for kids. I mean, it's different if it's like what was that little show, Raleigh Ollie or something, or Blue's Clues, or Mickey's or that Mickey's Clubhouse. Oh, Toodles! In which case that was literally designed for kids. Other than that, I feel that any and all animation, unless specifically marketed so, is transformative to any medium. So there was a point to where I didn't feel like I was watching a kid show that had some, cool bits for older people. In my mind, when I watch MLP, I just think of it as another good cartoon because. And yeah, Laura Fowles really helped with that and the team of writers over the years. But the thing, and she always said this show was meant to just feel like a cartoon, but it stars six female ponies, and it's got the My Little Pony name attached to it. And actually, it was this episode really that kind of sells that fact more than anybody. I mean, you could argue there was maybe more meta humor in the first season, almost more than any of them. But I feel like it was necessary to really set it apart because, when you hear about the show, that grabs the attention of cynical dudes, like not cynical, but just dudes like us that are like, we're at that point in our lives, we were begging for something intelligent and meaty we could sink our teeth into. And I'm not talking about the plot, the horse plot. I'm talking about the plot.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's why Dress for Success always consistently ranks high up on a lot of people's. I mean, at this point, there's just so many freaking episodes. It'd be hard to choose a top 20, but like, I feel like this is still a lot of people's top ranked episodes because like it's one of the first. It's one of the first. I mean, all the first quote unquote could really be in this most of the season, but it's one of the first episodes to really show that, like, hey, we're not pussyfooting around with the writing or the music or the characters. This isn't, and they demonstrated that in the premiere, but it really showed, it really showed the show's desire to be something more than just a cartoon for little girls, or just, oh, it's another My Little Pony cartoon. It's like,
Mhm.
no, we are above that. We are a cartoon. This is Equestria. Don't catch you slipping now. Boom, boom.
Yep.
This is Equestria.
So,
Boom.
so let's get back to the episode and one of the best scenes in the entire episode. So the
Yes.
the whole thing goes awry, like terribly. Rarity's first major freak out, and it's glorious. The main
It is the
six
stuff of
go.
legends.
The other main six go to try and talk to her. She's having a freak out, and one of my favorite lines from this is she's in her bathrobe and everything, and she's like, "I knew it. Just follow it. Whatever Pony's supposed to follow it. Look at me. I'm so pathetic."
It's funny. I could never tell if that scene was played for laughs or not, because the dialogue isn't, but Tabitha's overacting is so great.
And this is the first time that Tabitha St. Germain really got to like flex her rarity pipes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed about season one, is that more than anything is that Tabitha's rarity is so, like, what's the word? It's just not fully there. I mean, she even like slips in and out of the accent she has for her sometimes. So and like the voice isn't like all there. Kind of like how Applejack's voice starts off a little lighter than in tone than it comes out later. But like you really feel like this is her like sticking her hand in the glove and like finally flexing a bit,
Mm-hmm.
just like you said.
And I'm sure that the voice director was just like, okay, Tabitha, go nuts. Just make it as crazy as you want it to. And I'm sure she took that and ran with it, and it was glorious.
Yeah, she's like, okay, how should I do this? And he's like, well, okay, you see that shark? Yeah, jump it.
Yep, I totally get you. So then you get the fact that they make Rarity's dress, and that like Fluttershy helped out with it, and I was like, this is awesome. They made it, and I love how they get Rarity out. They take Opalescence and put her in a tree for
Oh
Rarity to come
God.
save her. Hold on, Mama's coming, and she comes out and she sees the dress, and she's just like, oh my gosh, you did this for me. And they got one final chance with Hoity Toity. So he basically goes in just like I did with season 4 and just be like, impress me. And they do a 2001 A Space Odyssey reference here. Dum, bum, bum, da, da.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, I noticed that too. Even back then, I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds familiar. And then I looked it up eventually, and I'm like, oh damn.
They did it. They fucking did it.
Stanley Kubrick would probably not know how to feel about that.
He'll just be sitting there like, the fuck is this doing here?
No, I know Stanley Kubrick. He literally would have just been looking at the show and just analyzing it endlessly, more than any Brony analyst ever could, and just being like, could have done that better.
I know, right? Have
That could have been
Stanley
animated.
Kubrick write an episode. Have
That.
it be based on The Shining.
Oh God. Well, I mean, The Simpsons have quote unquote have the little sisters as characters in their show. Why not My Little Pony?
Yeah, just have Chula Rula and coconut cream. Come play with us forever and ever and ever.
You don't understand. Do you realize how many bronies would jump at that?
Right? So
You literally just used two of the biggest cock sleeves in this entire fandom.
it's gonna be a cum-soaked drag tonight. But
That should be a punk song. Come so drag tonight.
right. So I have to say, I love the visuals of this scene because it like transitions really beautifully into one another. You have like Fluttershy's, you have like vines growing and then the flower blooming into her dress, and then you have like the butterfly coming in and coming into her like ear part
Yeah,
or her
yeah.
hair. Then you have it switched to like Rainbow Dash where it has like the clouds shining through with the rainbow and everything. It's just a really cool, well-designed
They
scene.
put way more thought into those dresses than they really had to.
Mm-hmm. And Hoity-Toity loves them, of course. So he basically starts talking and all that, and we get to the moral of the story. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Thank God, more people need to learn that.
Yeah, no kidding. I like the Aesop of this episode being like, hey, when your friend's doing you a favor, lay off.
And I'll tell you this. You remember how back in the parent map I said I really didn't like the episode because my mother reminded me like the character of Sunburst mom like totally reminded me of my own mother.
Yeah.
She needs to learn this lesson too. She's literally like, whenever we get her like a Christmas gift, she'll be like, "This isn't the right color I wanted."
Oh, does
Instead of
she
being thankful.
actually?
Yes, she does.
Oh my
Literally.
god.
Like she got this I forget exactly what it was, but she looks at it and instead of being like, "Oh, thank you. This is wonderful." She looks to my dad and she's like, "I thought we weren't spending money on gifts this year."
Does
Dead
she not
fucking
know what
serious.
being nice is?
Apparently not.
See, kids, this is why you don't settle.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was Suited for Success. Overall, a really fucking good episode.
Yeah, you said that this episode was like 5 stars.
Yeah,
Bro, it's basically 6. I mean, it's not a perfect 10, but this is basically this checks all the marks. I mean, this is at least a 9 for me.
I would actually bump mine up to a 9.5
I could see.
because again, this isn't a god tier episode, but it's a classic. It's a really good, well thought out, well implemented episode. It has some really good subtext, really good, meta text, meta humor, all that stuff. It was just overall a fun episode. So 9.5 for me, and then a 9 for you. You said.
Yes, 9 for me. And hey, it's literally like it's a classic for a reason, and it still holds up. We at least think so, but
Yeah, I'm gonna search up what the next episode is because we're gonna try and do this weekly until season 9 comes out. So, MLP season 1 episode 15. Oh, this one.
What?
Feeling Pinky Keen, the religion episode.
Oh,
Or the
Lordy.
religious subtext episode.
Oh, it
The
was all
one
down.
where everyone found out that Josh Scorcher was a Christian.
Oh Lord, it was all downhill for Twilight after this.
Uh-huh. So find out our crazy reactions to that next time. So that's it from me, John.
Me snakeskin.
And we'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, Dragon.
Sometimes I hate this show.